Hello everyone, welcome back. This video is going to be a very chatty one. So you can prop me up on the windowsill of your kitchen. You can put me down and just listen to me because you're not really going to see a ton because it's a Q&A and I'm just going to be answering a lot of your questions. So if you have not already heard, I've accepted a new position working for an LIU in the state of Pennsylvania. And it's a very, very different position than what I'm used to, being a classroom teacher for almost 12 years now, well, going on 12 years now. And I'm out of the classroom this coming year. So I am going to be a training and consulting staff developer for the LIU. And I will be working with multiple school districts and teachers across 3 different counties. It's a very, very exciting thing. I shared a lot about the process making of the decision of just taking the position overall. So if you want to check that video out, we will have that linked for you. Now, before I go into my questions, I just have to say you guys asked a lot of questions, and so thank you very much for asking all of those questions. However, some of those questions, I have no idea the answer to them. Because I have yet to start the actual position itself, I don't really know a lot about what it's going to look like, what it's going to be like. So a lot of that, you guys are going to just be on this journey with me when it comes to figuring out, what is this going to look like for me in this upcoming school year. But I am very excited to be able to answer some of the questions that you have. I do have my phone. I'm going to read the question out for you. We'll also have it displayed on the screen so that you can follow along with it if you want to. And yeah, let's get chatty. Grab your coffee, grab your beverage of choice. And I hope you guys are enjoying your summer. What do the letters LIU stand for? I had a lot of questions about this, and it wasn't until after I had published the video that I thought to myself, wow, I never really told them what an LIU is. So an LIU is a Lincoln Intermediate Unit. And from my understanding, and please do not quote me here, but there are intermediate units all over the state of Pennsylvania. Yeah, that's what LIU stand for, Lincoln Intermediate Unit. Will you have summers off? How about spring break? Wish you the best of luck. Thank you so much. So this is a really interesting one. I am contracted for 188 days. I do get some of the holidays off. Now, what's interesting is that I don't get all of the holidays off. So I get a typical Thanksgiving minus the Monday that we would normally have off in a school district. I don't get that Monday off. I get, your typical winter break, like Christmas break and New Year's. I get that off, but I don't get things like Martin Luther King Jr. I don't get things like President's Day. And I think there are a few other that are sprinkled in there. I do get like your Easter weekend. I don't get all the days that I normally would have gotten working at a school district. So that is going to be something that's very different. So I think in my head, as I'm thinking through this is more of a corporate E type position. I don't know. If anybody's out there that's worked in something other than education, then you have an idea of what I'm talking about. I don't really understand the best ways to describe that, but this is where I would say, I get some of them, I don't get all of them, and that's just kind of the way it's going to go. But yeah, I do get summer, so I will have a summer break. I think I have an option to be able to work a little bit through the summer if that is a choice of mine. But yeah, 188 days, that's what I'm contracted. So I'm very excited that I still get to keep quite a bit of my summer break. What do you think will be your top 3 goals for this new position? Best of luck to you, and never forget how far you have come. Take care, and thank you for your video presentation. Oh, you are so sweet. Thank you so much. Guys, I've just been blown away by all of the comments. I just feel so grateful and thankful for all of you, because telling people that you are leaving the classroom is a scary thing, especially online. And you guys have all just been very, very kind, and I appreciate you. So top 3 goals. I did have to think about this one for just a little. If I'm, again, it's kind of hard for me to say like, oh, this is what I'm going to go in and do, because if I was thinking about it in a classroom format, I've been in a classroom for 12 years, so I know the goals that I would have as a classroom teacher. However, being in a tax staff developer position, I don't really know a ton of what I'm going to be doing. I mean, I have a general idea, right? I'm giving professional development, I'm supporting teachers, I'm supporting school districts with initiatives. Like, I have a general understanding of it, but to say that I really know what it looks and sounds like, gotta love that school language, that is something that I'm not fully aware of. So one of the things that I would really like to have as far as my goals when it comes to this position is that I would really love to be in the school districts. I want to be in the schools. I want to be supporting teachers, whether it's new teachers, whether it's teachers that are moving initiatives when it comes to literacy instruction and trying to have a better understanding of how to structure their literacy blocks, or how to implement some of these best practices inside of the classroom, or, how can we start to look at data as a school and be able to take that data and develop some initiatives from it. That would be my primary piece. So I would really like to have opportunities where I am in the school. Another one is that I know that we are following something that's called the MTSS framework, and that's that multi-tiered systems of support. And so when you think about just the tiers of support, and it's offering support in multiple levels. Like, I know that I'm going to be giving professional development, but as we all know as teachers, professional development doesn't end there. Like, it is so hard to sit in a professional development meeting, get all this knowledge, and then you're like, but then how do I put that into the classroom? That's the challenging piece. And so one of the things that I would really like to do is help to develop this system where we could come in and be facilitators and coaches and mentors where we are needed, to make sure that enough support is being given to teachers inside of the classrooms. I want to take away that feeling of, okay, we get all the theories, you're pushing all this like brain science at me, but now how do I put it into practice? That's going to be a really big one. And then third goal is to just learn. I don't really have a third goal. I think those two, the first two are my main focus. But my third goal is just to live and learn. I'm going to be soaking in as much knowledge as possible. I'm going to be learning and growing in this new position. And I think my goal is to give myself grace and have that opportunity to learn and grow, and know that I'm not going to be perfect this first school year, because I do tend to set the bar very, very high for myself. So yeah, those are going to be my 3 goals. All the best. This position is so important for teachers and learners. Does this impact a retirement pension? Not sure with PA rules. So the LIU, the Lincoln Intermediate Unit, is under the Department of Education. So you have like the Department of Education, which is up at the very, very top. And then you have the LIUs, which are the middleman between the LIUs and then the school districts. So from my understanding, it does not interfere with my retirement. However, I am supposed to be going and doing paperwork like mid-July. So I don't know, I might find out that it does affect everything. I don't think it does. I think it all still goes with my pension, because I think we had this conversation when I was talking with the HR lady, who's so, so, so kind. And she was asking me questions like about pension and retirement and all that. And so I think I'm good there, guys, but I'm not 100% sure. Congratulations. Will you be working out of an office at your current school, or will you travel to and from different school districts? I can't remember if I mentioned this in the last video. Maybe I did, just a teeny little bit. But this is very interesting because the LIU has a office. It has like a central office of itself. It's about 30 minutes from where I live. So it is a much farther drive. They are in the total opposite direction from where I typically will travel. Like, that side of town tends to be a lot busier, a lot more traffic, yada, yada. But what I will be doing is working with 3 different counties, and these 3 counties are big. So like I could potentially be driving like an hour away. So here's the interesting piece is that I'm working from home. So I will, from my understanding, be at home quite a bit. Whether it's, doing my meetings, doing professional development through Zoom calls, from what I've heard, and again, please don't quote me on this because I haven't started the position yet. From what I've heard, they've been doing a lot more Zoom calls. I think because it's just easier for principals and administrators that are in offices to be able to meet through those means. But we will see. I mean, the idea is that I will be based in my home, and then I will go once a month to the office to meet with an entire team and be able to collaborate amongst different initiatives that are happening within the TAC team itself. And then I will be able to travel to and from schools from home. So I don't really know how much I'm going to be traveling. I think it's going to be very interesting. I think having some of those like vlogs, day in the life vlogs, is going to be fascinating about being able to see it from a different lens in education. Because again, I feel like I didn't even know that this position existed until I had found it online. Like it was very much a chance type thing. It just kind of happened. Didn't know that it was there. So we'll see. It'll be very interesting. Congrats on the new job. What will you miss most about teaching, and what will you not miss? I feel like this is kind of cliche to say it this way, but I'm going to miss the kids. I will miss teaching kids a lot. I really, really enjoy this process of sitting in front of kids and watching them make those aha moments and having conversations and seeing them grow over the course of a year. I have really, really enjoyed that. My hope, kind of going back to those 3 goals, is that if I'm able to be inside of the schools a lot more, I will have opportunities to model lessons and come in and show teachers and support them in different ways. So I could potentially be inside of classrooms with other kids. But I will definitely miss my students. I will miss decorating a classroom. Like I don't get to do that this year. Like I have no classroom to decorate. My office is somewhat done. I'm not really going to do much in my office. There's no reason for me to, but not having a classroom is going to feel very, very weird. I think I will miss leaving home and going somewhere else for my job. I tend to really struggle sometimes if I'm at home too much and I don't try to get myself out there. Like I love being a hermit. I love not being social with people, but I also think I struggle a little bit mentally, emotionally, that kind of thing, being at home for too long. So I will have to have to be very deliberate on about getting out there and going for walks and doing things that are really going to feed back into me emotionally. Things that I'm not gonna miss. Having to make phone calls to parents about behaviors. Having behaviors inside of my classroom. Not having days where I don't have a special. Not having to write sub plans anymore. I'm not gonna miss having to write sub plans. I'm very excited about not having to write sub plans. I don't know, guys. What would you miss? What would you like so be willing to not miss when it comes to the classroom? I think sub plans are really going to be up there. I told Trent, who's my husband, if you're new to this channel, I was like, I get to pee whenever I want. I'm going to be able to like eat somewhat at a decent time. I won't have to make all those phone calls to families about, just behaviors and write-ups and wow. Yeah, I'm not going to miss any of that. But I am curious, what would you not miss about the classroom if you were to leave it? I would love to know your answer and if you have something better than mine. But off the top of my head, those are going to be it. Those are the big ones. I'm so happy for all of the experiences that will be coming your way and will benefit your listeners and viewers. Will you be guiding teachers as a coach in literacy, or will you be previewing and providing new materials and strategies for them? Thank you so much for your question. And I think both. I think I'm doing both. A lot of what the LIU does is that if a school district comes to them and says, hey, we're, looking for a new curriculum, or we're wanting to revamp things, or we want to help our teachers with this area because the data shows us that our students are really struggling in this area, what are some of the things that we can do? I will help to facilitate that and provide some of the different options for them. But I also think that I am going to be able to support within a coach lens, a coaching lens. And the reason for that is because if you look at the MTSS framework, again, it's multi-tiered systems of support. I'm reading a book about it, guys. I'm going to be an expert. No, I'm joking, but I have been trying to do a lot more research when it comes to MTSS. And this framework is something that's been adopted by a lot of Department of Educations across the United States. So it would be very interesting to look into that a little bit more. But if you look at the MTSS framework itself, the whole idea is to offer different levels of support to school districts who are wanting to bring about some form of school change. And so that means not only providing, here are some strategies, but also supporting those strategies as they're being implemented inside of the classroom. So it is very much from a mentoring, coaching, from an expert level, from a facilitator level. Like, you are really working all of those lenses. And again, I think that's going to be the piece that I'm really excited about, is going into the schools and helping to support as much as I can. I want to be able to give to the teaching community in this format. So very excited to learn about it all. But my answer would be, I guess. I wish you the best in your new position. I am sure you will be doing a great job. Thanks for the confidence. I'm still sad that you will leave the classroom. Will you serve all grade levels or focus on intermediate grades? Thank you so much for your question. And I am too. I am sad that I am leaving the classroom. Because I do love teaching in general, but I also recognize, did you guys see that fly? But I also recognize that I want to continue growing and learning and serving in a bigger way. And I know a lot of teachers want to do that, but I think this past year, what it has taught me, and really just digging deep and trying to figure out, why are stakeholders making some of the decisions that they're making? And when I refer to stakeholders, I'm talking about board members, community, administrators, educators. Why are we making some of these decisions that we're making? And why is it such a slow process? Because I feel as though we're just so far behind in so many different ways, and it's very frustrating. And so that frustration this past year has really led me to push, ask more questions, dig deeper, to really figure out ways where I can help. And not just help my own students in my classroom, but to help other students, to help other educators who are just struggling, to see how many teachers were just struggling this past year. And I get it, I was there too. I was struggling with all of it, the behaviors, the non-support, the curriculum itself, just what we've seen over the past few years, how education has just gone down and down and down. But it's how can we get out of this? There has to be a way to be able to do that. And I want to help in a bigger way. And I know I'm not answering your question yet, but I am sad to leave the classroom. But I think I have to leave, whether it be for a little bit or long term, in order to make a much bigger impact that I want to make and start seeing some of the changes that I think our kids deserve and our teachers deserve. And we just need to make education better in general. So that's why I ended up deciding to leave. Okay, moving on to your question. The question is am I going to be serving all grades or intermediate? I believe it's all grades. Again, I feel like I'm not answering your question because I don't really know a ton. Now, I am elementary, right? I know you tell me K-6 really, really well, but I believe as an LIU, I'm going to be serving for all grades and supporting teachers and educators in all grades. So that will definitely be a journey. It's something that I've already started looking into, just the literacy standards for middle school and what high school looks like so that I can become better acquainted with them. And I am seeing some similarities between those and also like that 6th grade standard and really going above and beyond in that critical thinking and analysis component that's being embedded there. So all things that I'm definitely working on and learning as I have been doing my research. Congratulations! For the Q&A, at what point in the school year did you start putting in applications for the LIU? April, May, right at the start of January, or even June? So again, this was like, I wasn't even looking for a job, guys. I just need to make that very clear. I was not looking to leave. I was very excited about teaching 3rd grade. I was excited about the change, the being able to have just my own class. I was looking forward to it. So what ended up happening is that I had been going to board meetings, and I shared in a video my honest thoughts from this previous year. I shared a little bit about me going to board meetings, so I'm going to link that video as well if you have not seen it. Definitely go and listen to that one. But I had been going to board meetings since December, January, and I was just really involved in the process of pushing for a better curriculum and how we can look at personalized learning and start embedding it into the curriculum in a much better way. Because I've seen where personalized learning has really struggled, and people are taking it for something that it's not. And it's almost as if they're giving personalized learning a really bad name, but that's not where we're going. So I was trying to go in and listen about personalized learning and curriculum and getting perspectives and speaking with board members to try to express to them, like, this is what our teachers need. This is what our kids need when it comes to the science of learning and just good instruction. So during one of those board meetings, I would always look at the agenda. And so I'm flipping through the agenda and I'm telling my husband, because he would go to me, we considered it like our date night, which is a terrible date night, but whatever. And so we were scrolling through the board meeting agenda, and on the board meeting agenda, I saw that we were getting a brand new curriculum director, because the school district had kind of a revolving door for just people in general, like especially in administration. They were moving through and making some changes there, which is phenomenal. And so I saw that we had gotten a new board director, and I was like, oh, okay, let me look into this person because I'm nosy. And so I started like looking into her, found her on Twitter, found out that she had this position, which was a TAC staff developer. And so I was like, ooh, what's that? So I went to the LIU website and I started looking and figuring out like, what is a TAC staff developer, and realized that they had a position open. And so when I had looked at the description and looked at the requirements for it, I like messaged Trent and I was like, hey, you think it's weird if I just try it? Like, just try it. And my husband and I had been talking about like, oh, I had told him like, hey, I really want to do a video of just interview tips, because I've done so many interviews. I've had people, request this video. And so I was like, I'm going to go through this process of, applying to the TAC staff developer position, because I'm just interested to hear about the position itself. And then I can also take the things that I've learned and the things that I'm doing and apply it to this video, which again, I will have a link for you guys to go and check out if you are curious. And it's also really good practice just to have interviews. Like, it's good to go to interviews to keep that going, and so that if you get into a position where you have to interview somewhere, you don't feel like a rusty nail. That's a terrible way of describing it. So I'd gone through the process, I did the interview, and then they gave me the job, which I did not think that they were going to give me the job, but they gave me the job. And so I had to sit down. That was that moment that I had to sit down and really think about, like, is this really what I want to do? Like, is this, like, what happened? I was just doing this because, one, I was intrigued. Two, I was interested in the position. I think the position is really, really amazing, and I would love to be in a position like that, but I didn't think that I was going to get it. I really honestly don't know. So it all just kind of happened. So that happened 2 weeks before the end of the school year. So I applied 2 weeks before the end of the school year, which was the end of May, and got the job at the end of June. So went through that whole process and got the job at the end of June. So yeah, no intentions of leaving. Never had crossed my mind. I wasn't going to do it. Really, it was like for curiosity / video. I don't know, but I am very grateful and thankful, and I am very, very excited about the opportunity, and I am looking forward to it. I'm scared, nervous, because I want to do well. I really do want to serve my community in a big way. I don't want to disappoint people. That's a really hard thing for me. It's like when I disappoint people, I take it to heart, guys. And so I don't know, like we're going to see where this life is taking me together. Okay. Many congratulations on your new job, Bridget. I'm sure that you will use your expertise, hard work, and creativity to have success in this new position. I would like to know the following information. What will you miss most and least about the classroom? Which I think I already answered that part of it already, so I'm going to check that one off. What do your own kids think about this new job? I don't think they care. I don't think they care. I think they cared when I was bringing in the classroom and I was making them do all this work. And I think they care when I have a bunch of stuff down in the basement. I don't think my kids care. I don't think it's really sunk into them. It would be very curious. I would be curious to see how this transition goes with me being home when normally I'm not home in the mornings when they're getting up to go to school. Now I'm going to be home. So I think that's going to be where it all sinks in for them. Right now, we are all just living summer mode at the moment. Did you talk with anyone else who has held this kind of position before so you could gain some additional insight? And then what are you most excited about versus most nervous about when it comes to this job? So no, I didn't know anyone who had this position before or has this position or held it or whatever. No idea. I've never had conversations about the position that I'm taking over, which is leaving me very open-minded, curious. And so I didn't really know what I was getting into when it comes to this position. Now, I will say that I know someone at the LIU, and I messaged and let them know, hey, I'm basically going for this position. I'm interviewing for it. And she just kind of said, oh my gosh, you're going to love it here. You're going to do a great job. This is going to be a great position for you. And it's very interesting that as I've been telling people, whether it's been people at my school district that I just recently left or people at my other district that I was with, as I've been telling people, they're like, oh my God, that position's perfect for you. It's perfect for you. So I think to move on to that next piece, the part that I'm the most nervous about is letting people down, because with people telling me, oh my gosh, it's perfect for you, it's perfect for you, I feel like everyone's setting the bar really high and I just need everybody to bring it down a little bit. Because as I mentioned before, I don't want to disappoint people. I don't want to let people down. I want to do the best job that I can possibly do. And so, but not having a very clear understanding, because I've never held the position of what I'm doing, is very nerve-wracking. Now, I will say, I know that I've done professional development, whether it's been through here, through my Bridging Literacy community, in other, conferences. And so I have an idea of how to deliver information and how to clarify things and provide support in ways. But again, I've never held this position before. I don't know anyone who's held the position, and so it's really hard for me we're gonna name the fly because apparently he's gonna be in my video. So I think that's the most like the piece that I'm the most nervous about. The part that I'm the most excited about is being able to facilitate in a much bigger way. And not just in the like on my online community, which I love YouTube. I'm going to continue doing YouTube. I love my Bridging Literacy community, but having the ability to serve teachers in my area and make a change here, it's a blessing, and I'm just super excited about it. So I think that's the biggest piece, is being able to work with the kids and the teachers here. And let's just set that bar lower, guys, just a little bit. How do you feel about being an education influencer outside of the classroom? P.S. I would have taken the position too. Congrats. I'm so glad that I'm not the only one. I really enjoy it. I think we're about to get real personal. I struggle with how to give information sometimes online. Like, especially if I'm talking like Instagram. Because I feel as though everything is so cute and everything is very trendy, and I'm not trendy, nor am I cute. I just want to deliver the information and say, like, go do this. Like, this is the thing that you need to be doing because it works and it's backed by research and it's backed by science. And so that sometimes tends to be a challenge. I tend to get imposter syndrome quite easily. I tend to compare myself a lot. But I love being able to serve and help teachers where I can. So yeah, I think I really enjoy it. I love this part of my job, and I think that this job that I have here with YouTube and just being an education influencer has really allowed me to grow so much over the course of the years that I've been doing it. So I am very thankful for it because I have developed so many skills that I would not have had. And if I didn't have these skills, would I have gotten the position at the LIU? I don't know. I don't think so. All right. I'd like to know if you had already signed a contract for your position, and in breaking it, did they charge you anything? So, from my understanding here, like, it's like a year-to-year thing. Like, you don't get booted, but you basically have a new contract that's created every single year. So it's not like I signed a contract for like 5 years or 10 years. I sign a contract for the year, and then I sign a new one every single year. And that typically happens around July, August. So it was the perfect time that I wasn't necessarily breaking any of the contracts. Now, if I would have signed the next contract and I would have started working and then got a position, they have every right to hold me for 90 days. And so because I was not in that time frame, they didn't have to hold me. So, I mean, they like cut the cord. They were like, here's your money, here's all your stuff, bye. Just to go, just like a way to say, again, and I know I said this like when I took this last position, a year ago, I'm just a number to people. Like, as much as I want to think that everybody's going to be super heartbroken that I'm leaving, I don't think anybody cares. So, no, I didn't have to pay anything. I didn't have to do anything. The contract was done. I didn't sign the new one. I hadn't started the school year, so it worked out really perfect. You are made for this future endeavor. Bring that bar down just a little bit. I found your channel when you moved into 4th grade. It was my first year in 4th also. You have been my go-to PD lady all this time. I've learned so much more from you than all other PD I've been required to attend. You were so clear in your explanations and demonstrations. You will be amazing. Congratulations. Okay, so that's not a question. My husband put this one in there. I had him reading through my questions and then adding them to a folder for me because I was doing some other work. But I just want to say thank you for your very, very, very sweet comment. We just got to bring that bar down just a little bit. But yes, I am so very grateful. I really enjoyed it, just kind of going back to education influencer, supporting, delivering instruction, and trying to give people, this is the part that frustrates me with PD, real simple strategies that you can take back and put into your classroom. Simple learning, guys. That's all we need. Real simple learning. Like, that's it. We don't have to have anything that's big and fancy and crazy. Like, the strategies that are the simplest are some of the most effective strategies that you can have. And so I pride myself on just doing very simple things, whether it's with a whiteboard, a dry erase marker, you know, a discussion post, whatever it might be, but it's going to be effective because, again, it's backed by science. It's backed by research. It works. And so I don't want to give you information that's going to make you go back and have to create, you know, this huge drawn out lesson to teach a specific concept. I'm going to do things that are real simple that you can take back and feel very, very good about and not break the bank or you spend a ton of time having to do it. So thank you very much. Okay, so that is going to be it. Those are the questions that are on my list for me to answer. I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who just put out questions just in general. If I didn't choose your question, it was probably because I don't have a ton of information currently to let you know what it is going to be like. And then there were some that were just repeats. So I do apologize for that. But again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for all the positive responses, the questions. If you have something that's a little bit different that you feel as though I can answer, you can drop that into the comments and I will be responding to those. But thanks, guys. I'm excited to be able to take you onto this journey. I am going to be sharing a lot of this information, whether it's on social media or through YouTube here. And yeah, so it's going to be a wild ride and I'm excited about where it's going to go this upcoming year. Thank you guys so much for watching. I would love for you to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and also don't forget to like the video. Thanks, guys. See you next week. Bye.